Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Winning Women Network. Thank you for spending your Sunday evening with us, at least 1 hour with us today. Today, we're going to be featuring a Spotlight member, Jennifer Glidden. Now, typically, what we do in the Winning Women Network is that we feature about 9 to 10 women who are having wonderful success in our home business. But once a month, we pull out one person who we want to not only shine the light on her, we also want to have the opportunity to pick her brain. So what's going to happen tonight is I'm going to interview Jennifer Glidden, and towards the end of the hangout, about 15 minutes towards the end, you, the audience, will have your chance to ask her questions. You'll be able to pick the brain of this amazing top earner, and if you don't take advantage of this opportunity to pick the brain of someone who probably has more success than most in our home business. Oh goodness, I'm repeating myself here. If you don't take this opportunity to get to hear from a top earner, to pick her brain, to see what works for her and what doesn't, and how she scaled up her business and the pitfalls she avoided, then you really don't want success in this business. So please take this opportunity to get to know Jennifer Glidden and to see what are her secrets to success. So Jen, such a pleasure to have you today. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out. I know how busy you are, and I so appreciate you. And it's been wonderful just getting to know you in the past year or so on the panel. And now that I'm in Charlotte, thank you for getting me out of my apartment because I don't know what I would do. But Jen, I just wanted to talk about how I have been watching you for so long, and I've seen the things that you do, and I see how you take the time out of your busy schedule to take care of your family. So I want to be able to show people how they can take their time, no matter how little bit of time they may have, and craft it so that they can build a profitable business just like you have. But before we get to all the great details, I think I want to start with your story. You know, how did you start? Were you in a home business before then? Just basically give us your story of who is Jennifer Glidden.
Hey Val, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here. It's great to be able to share with everyone tonight. I hope that as you're listening, you're going to be able to take away some things that you can actually apply to your business and life that will catapult you forward to where you want to be. So just a little bit about me. Right now I'm living in Charlotte, North Carolina with my husband and son. My son's about 2 years old, and we've been going through the joys of potty training recently. But go back a few years, and I was working in a cubicle. I had college degree, master's degree, and I didn't feel like it was fulfilling. So I left, went out on my own, started a photography business. My husband and I later started a real estate investing company, and real estate's a whole different animal. So we went through some adventures there, and then he decided to go back to work, and I started online to really pursue an income there because I knew that there was so much potential. I mean, you can reach the whole world from right here where you're sitting, and it doesn't take anything special, I mean, look at YouTube. That's amazing what you can see on YouTube. So I knew there was potential there, and I started learning. I started executing some things. Never really got any traction until I came to DSD, and with that, it was the 1995 to get started, and I figured, you know what, I've spent a whole lot more than that trying to get things going, and so I tried it, and I listed some items, and within the first 24 hours, I sold something. Now, that's not average or typical. Some people sell things faster, slower than I do. Some people make more money, less money. We're not talking about guarantees of income here. We're not trying to represent an average income here. I'm just sharing my story with you so that you can take something away from it and benefit in your own personal life. So since I've been in DSD, I just put my nose down and focused, and I've been working the eBay side, the Amazon side, the affiliate side. The affiliate side, when I got into DSD, I didn't initially plan on doing that because I just wanted to make some money for me and my family and not worry about anything else. But the affiliate side, after about a week, I saw how well it was working for me, and I saw how well it was working for people on our team, and I decided, you know what, this is something that people deserve to know about, because there are a lot of things out there that aren't what they seem. But this is something that I feel like anyone can come in and just get started, follow the instructions, list some items, and they're going to have sales. So I've been working all aspects of the business. When we launched Genesis in June of last year, that's when I really found kind of a key to opening up some more revenue. And so I've just been working away.
Wow. So did you say you were in real estate before?
Yes.
Okay, so DSD you got started for 1995, and you had a sale in what, a day or two? Real
Yes.
estate, how much did you invest in that, and when did you get a return?
Oh, Val. There were a lot of adventures in real estate, and it is a viable business model, but there are a lot of risks in there. There's a lot of capital required. I mean, they say you can do things with no money down, but it's a little more. There's a little more to it than that, and there are a lot of moving pieces. There are a lot of things outside of your control that swing major movements. And when the market changes and the regulations with the government change, that affects the whole mortgage brokering industry. I mean, so many factors outside of our control. Whereas on the retail side, people are always buying things. They're watching television, they're reading a website or whatever, and they see something that they need for their family, they see something that they want for themselves, and they go out and buy it. It's not, they have to go out and get a $100,000 loan and clear all these hurdles of appraisals and inspections and all that. They're just paying $40 for the item that they want. It arrives at their doorstep. 2 days later, they're happy. It's so much simpler, and it creates regular, reliable cash flow, whereas the real estate business, you can make big chunks of money. You can also lose big chunks of money, but it's not happening every day. You never know when it's going to happen. You never know when that buyer is going to come along for the house. You saw the house that we built, the one house that we tore it down and we built it up from a foundation. We picked out the plans and everything. But this business model is something that we're more comfortable in as a family because it's far more regular, reliable in terms of cash flow, predictability, and you can, like with Genesis, I can decide on a new product and bring it into my business and test it at a small amount, or I can test it with a bigger quantity, and then that's going to just keep generating cash. Whereas you buy a house and you sell it at some point, well, the house is gone. You have to go get another house. So it has some similarities, but we like the e-commerce model a lot better.
Oh, great. Yes, I remember that house. It was beautiful, but I could just imagine the time and the effort you put into that. And that was that before your son was born, when you were in the real estate business?
Yes.
Wow. So imagine doing that and then having a little one. But Jen, you do have a little one. So
yes.
How old is your little one, and how do you work this business around your child?
Well, Val, he's a little over 2, so he's very active. He's always running around and keeping me busy. So I usually will work on the business in the morning, sometimes in the middle of the day, especially when he's napping, and then in the evening time. When I first got started, I made it a point to, no matter what, I was listing 5 to 10 items a day on eBay. And I did that no matter what before I went to sleep. So yes, there were some late nights, but they were worth it.
So you found pockets of time. You just found a way to make it work. because I think that's something that a lot of people are concerned about. They have busy families, they're working, but regardless, if you really want this, you have to find these pockets of your time that you can spend. And so you said 5 to 10 items a day. So you just set this intention that that's what you were going to do. So when you first started, would you say that listing items or finding items were a challenge for you, or did it get better with time, or how did you feel about the beginning of your journey with selling on eBay?
Honestly, Val, I felt like there were so many items out there, I couldn't list them all. So it wasn't a challenge to find items. It was just a challenge to, yeah, list as many as I possibly could. So I think that being consistent every day really made a big difference in how my business grew. And so I recommend to anyone that they work on their business every day, even if it's just something little, even if you're only listing 1 or 2 items a day when you're getting started, just being in your account every day, and it creates momentum. And especially in the beginning of your business, momentum is critical, because you kind of have to build up enough activity going on that you feel confident that it's going to continue. And so the business does it. I mean, it's not like always up every day and every day is wonderful. You come into challenges or transactions that don't go perfectly like you want. Most of them do go great, but every once in a while there's something that stands out that needs extra attention. And so some people will see something happen and they just decide to quit. And honestly, I do not understand this, because if there's any business that works, it's this one, So when things slow down or you have challenges, just see it as a challenge and speed up a little bit more activity to get over that hump, and you're going to see results quickly. So that's what I would say about that.
Wow. So, question: when you first started, would you consider yourself, since you're a full-time mom, did you consider yourself a full-time entrepreneur, or do you consider yourself a part-time entrepreneur? Basically, how many hours do you dedicate to your business? That's a better question. How many hours would you say you dedicated to your business when you first started, as opposed to now?
Val, I would say that I spend about 20 hours a week on my business, and I would say that I think about my business more than that. When I'm actually working at my computer at my desk, that's a certain amount of time. But then the rest of the day, when I'm with my son or watching him, playing with him, I may be listening to audios. I'm thinking about things. So I am a full-time entrepreneur, but I'm probably working about part-time in my business.
Oh wow, that's awesome. So full-time entrepreneur, part-time business. You're working in listing. You made an intention to list 5 to 10 items a day, and then you're also listening to personal development. Also, when you're spending time with your son. So here's something. If you're working the eBay side of the business, and for those who are in DS, for those who are curious about what DS domination is. DS Domination shows you how to create a profitable eBay business, but we also show you how to sell on Amazon. So you sell on eBay, you sell on Amazon, you're an affiliate, you're a mom. So how did you decide? How could you make time for all of this? When did you decide, okay, I'm great here on eBay, but now I want to go to Amazon? What made you decide to go to the next level in your business? How did you make that decision to move on?
Great question, Val. I'm always looking for points where I can leverage my time and my resources of money. So Amazon is a marketplace that sells a lot more even than eBay. There are a lot of transactions going on eBay every single day. But Amazon, the way it's structured, works a little bit differently, and even more money moves through Amazon. So excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. So um, the Amazon marketplace is very, very powerful. And when I started devoting some time to learning about that, and especially with Genesis, it's been transformative for my business.
So you saw the opportunity to basically another stream of income. And then you also did the affiliate side. When you first started, you said you weren't interested in building the affiliate side of the business, but then you changed your mind. So how would you say you spread out your day in terms of working the e-commerce side and the affiliate side? How do you balance your day? When do you decide to leverage more time to the e-commerce side or as opposed to the affiliate side?
That's a great question, Val. It's really important for people to understand that as you're growing your business, you don't have to have all the answers, and a plan is helpful, but it doesn't have to be in concrete. So, one thing that I've constantly been doing is evaluating how I spend my time, how I spend my capital resources, and so it depends on what's going on the affiliate side or the e-commerce side. Right now, I probably spend about even on the e-commerce and affiliate side, but as my business has grown, it's been a different situation. So I've kind of just depending on what's going on, some months I've spent a lot more time on the affiliate side, sometimes I've spent more time on the e-commerce side. And so it's all about what's the next breakthrough, what is the next thing, that bottleneck that's going to keep me when I break through it, that I can get to that next level in my business. So that's really what I focus on, is what needs the most attention to break through to really unlock some more revenue.
Hmm. So a breakthrough, I never thought about that. So you speak a lot about Genesis. So is that your favorite product right now?
Yes, it is, Val. And I want to tell people very honestly and very seriously that you need to look at it and do what you can to get it. Because my husband and I were running numbers just this weekend based on, I have one product, I'm bringing in a variation of that product that's probably going to sell similar volume. And just looking at those two products and a couple more products that we'll be adding in. But just those two products, just what I've already been able to do with the one product, honestly, in about 4 months or so, it's very, very powerful. So, even if you have Genesis and you're kind of sitting on it and you haven't decided what you want to order yet and create a branded product, there's so much power in your branded product. I mean, it's going to be very, very interesting this next year, Val.
Well, how many branded products do you have, and how long did it take you to find those products?
It takes me less than an hour to find a product, and honestly, I probably should have spent more time looking for products, but it's a different timeline. So it's not just you list it and it
Right,
sells the same day, right?
right.
There's more of a lead time, and so I think that's why people kind of hesitate on it. But I have one product right now. I have 40 cases of that product and its variation arriving tomorrow. And so we'll be going from there on that product, and then I have another one that I'm in the process of sourcing, and I'm going to be looking for another one right away this
Now,
week.
is there a certain number of products you want to, let's see, make available? For example, are you concerned about managing inventory? Do you just want to have maybe, 5 or 10 products because you're expecting it'll help you create a certain amount of income? What is your thinking going forward with Genesis?
I think some of it will depend on how much the products that I'm bringing in ramp up, but 5 to 10 is probably a very healthy
Hmm.
number for income.
Wow, that sounds very doable as well.
Right. Well, and the thing is, Val, this is such a powerful income generating machine, and it's not just something that will allow me and my husband to, have our family home together every day, but it's also something that's going to enable us to really make an impact around the world. I mean, there are kids eating out of garbage dumps, and honestly, that is not okay. That's just not okay. And so when you don't have any margin in your finances, you can't make an impact outside of your own life, because your resources are all tied up. When you can generate beyond your needs, especially far beyond your needs, which is what Genesis allows you to do, then there are a lot more options on being able to really make a difference and alleviate other people's pain and suffering in the world.
Right, and I think that's one of the main things that one of the founders of DS Domination speaks about. Roger, how he talks about wanting to help average people, just really help them succeed. And when you see the so many stories about just personal success, but also the stories of where people came from. We have so many people who have stories where they were homeless, or they were sleeping in their cars, or they just lost their jobs and they were just at the very end of their rope. But I think it's a really good point to mention about giving back. So I think a lot of us have this desire to help others and become something bigger than ourselves. And honestly, you need money, you need capital to do that. There is absolutely no way around that. If you don't have it, you can't help others. And if you can't help yourself, how are you going to end your life? Constantly worried about money, constantly struggling to make money. And I truly believe that we're not put on this earth to suffer. I really don't believe that. I believe we are meant to thrive. It's just a matter of finding and using the tools and resources that we're probably seeing every day, but taking them seriously. So I think that's a great point. I think a lot of people think, oh, it's about just making all this money and doing all these great things. But some people really have a strong desire to do more. And if that's you, then this is an opportunity to help you get there. Because as Jen said, she was in real estate before, and look at the huge risk in capital that it takes to get going, and you never know when you're going to make that money back. And here with e-commerce, it's 24 hours a day. People are constantly buying, and you have this opportunity. So really think about that in your business, and a bigger game plan. And that's a question, Jen. You talk about wanting to help others. Is there anything else you see yourself doing? Excuse me, would you consider DS domination to be like the quote unquote end game for you? Is there something more you want to do?
Well, I definitely love what's going on in e-commerce for my business, and I'm also, there's the affiliate side, but I definitely work on other internet marketing projects. So I love the power of the internet, the leverage that it creates, and so that's something that I'm always working on, is internet marketing.
Okay. So were you new to internet marketing before you joined DSD?
I had been learning for a while, started learning for our real estate business. Instead of putting out "We Buy Houses" signs and getting fines from the city, we were ranking on Google for "We Buy Houses." So yeah,
Oh, wow.
that's where I first started learning about the power of the internet for marketing.
So how do you grow your affiliate side of the business with the eBay and the Amazon side? DSD pretty much takes care of that for the most part. So what for you are your most powerful ways to build your affiliate income?
On the affiliate side, I have a lot of videos on YouTube, and I email my list, and I have a blog that I put my videos on, and send my email list to my blog so they can see either testimonials, or we have a lot of hangouts on our team, or I answer questions or things like that. So it's pretty much videos and my blog and the email.
Well, here's a great question that you mentioned YouTube. Many people express this huge fear of getting in front of the camera. I mean, they were just so shaken up by the idea of putting their face out there. And I'm always tackling this. What would be your advice to someone who, they really see the power of doing videos, but they're just like, I can't. What advice would you give them?
Well, I would say that there are a few things going on there, and honestly, I think it's interesting. We're kind of in our heads afraid of rejection, but people connect with you when you're on video in a way that they won't be able to connect with you in other ways. And so when you make yourself vulnerable, as you may believe you're vulnerable, even though you're not really vulnerable, that opens the door for people to connect with you further. So that's one thing I would say. Put your ego out of the way. You don't have to be perfect. No one expects you to be perfect. People will love you in the process of what you're doing online. And just getting started recording a video, you're going to be able to feel more comfortable the more you do it. So if you record a video a day, that's going to get you there a lot faster than a video a month, right?
Right.
I think, at least me personally, if you go back through my YouTube channel, you'll see some just horrible videos. But you know what? I did them. Just terrible. I mean, I was totally uncomfortable. I was trying to be perfect. I was trying to come across as, professional and knowing what I was talking about, but I was so nervous, and it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. There's always going to be another video. Honestly, I mean, how many Hangouts have we done together, Val? Like,
yes.
Right? And I'm sure that I could have said a lot of things better, or had a different look on my face, or whatever. But it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to get it perfect. You just have to get it going. That's what I would say.
I think that's great advice. You just have to get it done. I think a lot of people are afraid of not being perfect, of not looking a certain way, of not sounding a certain way, of not speaking a certain way, and it makes you more relatable. When someone sees that you're just completely human, and you make mistakes, and you fumble, and you lose your train of thought, and your words get all jumbled. So I think that's awesome advice, Jen. I think that's awesome. Thank you so much for that, because I hear that all the time across the board, and we really would love to. People really want to see you and connect with you. So give them what they want, which is you. You are perfect the way you are. You are enough for someone to join you. So if you're
and another thing, Val, real quick,
sure, yes.
People who connect with me or people who connect with you, let's say they don't connect with you or me.
Right.
Who are they going to connect with? There's someone that they're looking for, and that is you, not you, Val, you who's watching, who have a story. You have a story, and you've overcome challenges in your life, and you have something valuable to give into somebody else's life. So video is a very powerful way to do that, and I definitely recommend it for anyone working on the affiliate side. Very, very powerful.
I totally agree. When I started to build momentum, it was all through videos. All through videos. I didn't have many friends on Facebook at all, and and so I just started doing videos, and it's amazing how they quickly catch on. They're looking for you. They're looking for someone like Jennifer Glidden, looking for someone like Reginald Stinson, looking for someone like Sean Agnew. It's just they're looking for someone. So until you put yourself out there, they're not going to find you, and you're really cutting off your success. So I want to look at, so if you just joined EVE, if you just became a new member of DS Domination, and someone came to you, Jennifer, and said, Jennifer, I just joined DSD, and I'm all excited, and they have the right mindset, they're excited, they're listening, but they just feel like, could you give me some advice? What would you tell someone someone who just joined DS Domination and they really, really want to get the ball rolling, what would you tell them?
Great question, Val. And what I tell my team who just sign up is I tell them go through all the pro modules, attend the live trainings and watch the replays of the live trainings, and list every day. It's really important to list every day. So those are the 3 things that I would say.
I'm going to interview Jennifer.
Okay, guys. Well, it looks like Val is coming right back on. I wasn't sure whether it was me or her. All right, Val.
Sorry about that. My connection just totally went out here.
No problem. I wasn't sure if it was you or me. So
I was like, what happened? And I was like, oh no, I lost my connection. Sorry about that, everyone. Oh, I missed your wonderful advice. Missed your wonderful advice, but I'm going to move forward. So that's someone who joined DSD. Someone who's just joined, and you gave them this wonderful advice. But what if someone's watching and they're wondering, why should I join? You know, I'm on the fence. I kind of feel this is a great opportunity, but I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure if I can do this. I'm just not sure if I can find the time. I've been in other things before and they just didn't work. What would you tell someone who's just kind of on the fence?
Well, Val, I would tell somebody on the fence, I would first ask them why they want to do it, because that's the core of whether you're going to be successful or not. How big is your why? Is it really important to you, or are you just saying it's important to you? Because if it's really important to you, you are not going to quit following your dreams until you get there. It's just that simple. Nothing is going to stop you when it is important enough. So what is your why? Why are you here? Why do you want to have a home business? I've seen people come and go. Why did they start in the first place? Why did they leave? You know, you can do anything that you put your mind to. I promise your mind will figure out how to make it happen when you say that it's going to happen.
I agree. The self-belief is what's so important. If you don't really believe in your dreams and your abilities, then basically anything you pretty much touch is just not going to work. So I think that's a really awesome thing to say to someone. You mentioned, Jen, that you listen to personal development, and a lot of people don't understand how key that is to building a business. So would you share with us some of the things that you listen to, or a favorite book that really keeps you going or motivates you, so that our readers might want to pick them up themselves?
All right, sure, Val. I think that personal development is really critical for especially growing your business. I mean, there's so many benefits in general to your life. Because as we grow up, we get all these interesting ideas, and they kind of overlay what may be true about the world. So we kind of are looking through these filtered glasses, and when we're able to take those filters off, it can really create some freedom in our lives to look at things more objectively. It can create a lot of peace in your life too, a lot more organization. So Who do I really enjoy listening to? My coach and mentor, Jeffrey Combs. I've gotten so much from his audios, and he has audios going back years from his
Right.
calls every Tuesday night, and I recommend that anyone go to them and listen, because I mean, when I heard the first call that I heard was last year, the very beginning of the year. Reginald shared it with us, and it woke me up. I mean,
Right.
he doesn't mess around. He doesn't skip over things. He really gets to the core of why we do what we do. And so I would say that his audios have been instrumental in my growth. And another thing that I'm listening to right now that's been very helpful is it's fascinating how when we're children, we go through school and we get programmed, but we never really take time to think about how we think, our mental model of, how we perceive things, how we evaluate choices, how we make choices, how our brain, works. So the law of implication is kind of an underground thing, but it's been very, very helpful to me in growing my business, especially the last few months.
Wow. So Jeffrey Combs, yeah, he is pretty great. Do you ever attend any personal development events at all, or do you just strictly just kind of stick to books and stick to audios? Or do you kind of mix it up a bit?
Well, Val, I have gone to many events, and I definitely recommend events. One other thing that I also recommend is the Think and Grow Rich call every Monday through Friday morning.
Hmm.
So that's a mastermind, and we go through Think and Grow Rich. There's some other books that we go through, but every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m., highly recommend that you get on that. That has also made a big difference in my business. So in terms of events, yes, absolutely. Events are great. I mean, I've been in contact with so many just incredible people, so many millionaires, people who have gone ahead of us in terms of growing their business, and I just glean what information I can to be able to add value, myself to the world. So, yeah, love events.
And are you going to the UOP event in Atlanta? Are you going to that one? And why? You're doing so great. There's so many people who are just doing really great like yourself. And you might be saying, some people might be sitting back saying, well, what's the point of going to an event? You know what you're doing, you're making money, you're doing this. Why should I go to an event?
Val, there is always more to learn. And like you said, there are going to be some amazing people. So, yes, I am going to the event.
Yay!
There are going to be some amazing people there. And they're all working on different things. They all have specialized knowledge that one little thing can make a huge difference to my business. I mean, Keisha shared something with us just a few days ago that I implemented in my business. It's already making a big difference. So just little things that you can pick up from people in person that you won't necessarily see on a YouTube video or in an email. Being in the flesh with somebody, you're going to have a different level of interaction than you will online. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to the event. We have some great people who are going to be there, who are going to be presenting, who are just going to be attending. And so I'm really looking forward to it.
Great. I totally agree. I think one of the biggest things about events is that you have this opportunity to talk to people. You have this opportunity to say, hi, I've seen you. I can finally put, the face to a name. And then you just never know the conversations you may have with people. You never know what you might hear. Like you said, it could be that one thing that just is your big aha moment. And you would never have gotten it had you not attended an event. You would never have been able to, listen to something that Jennifer Glidden says, or something that Reginald says, something that Jesse says, and go, oh my goodness, all these people are sharing all of this knowledge. I never would have gotten this. And it's not just about the attending the actual event and seeing the event and seeing the training, because even if you've recorded that, that's great. but it's those one-on-one conversations you have with people. It's those masterminds. It's that time that you get to actually touch someone, and when they say to you, you really made a difference in my business, or if you hear that, how that influences you to keep going, to know that you're on the right path. But these conversations that you can have with people and go, oh my goodness, or you overhear a conversation that someone's having, you're like, that was $1 million tip, and I never would have gotten it had I not just been in the room. So really, don't underestimate the power of what any event can do for you. Besides the training, there's the wonderful opportunity to see people and touch them and hear them, and to just get all this information that you never would get had you just stayed home and just said, no big deal, I know what I'm doing. Because when you stop growing and you get to this point where you feel like you know everything, that's when your business will slowly start to go downward. So I don't care what event that you go to, whether you're going to the UOP event, and I'm definitely going to be there. I can't wait to see you all and say hi and hug and say, this is awesome to see you. But no matter what personal development event you might go to, just take full advantage of it and get everything you can out of it, because it's not just about, getting the training. It's about really being in the moment. It's about being in the moment and getting everything you can. So I have another question for you. I need to look at my list of questions.
So this is 100% now.
Thank you. So you gave advice to someone who was thinking about joining. You gave advice to someone who's already in the business. Now I have a question for someone who's been in, let's say, 6 months. They've been in 6 months, they've had some success, they know this works, they believe in it, but they just feel like, I don't know what to do to get to the next level. I don't know what I should be focusing on. So could you give them some advice, your perspective?
Sure, Val. My first question would be, do you have all the products? And that is because they all help you make more money. I upgraded within, I think, the first week to all the products, because I saw the first products worked. I had Pro and Elite when I signed up, and within the next few days I got pretty much all the products. So if you don't have all the products, then you're leaving tools on the shelf that you could be implementing in your business. Genesis is really important. I think that anyone who's serious about creating a long-term business, not only will it help you make more money with less effort, but it also will give you a less labor-intensive way to do it. So, I mean, once you source the product, we have different things in Genesis that you can do, but the long-term branding your own product, that's where you really can create some amazing income with not much time at all.
I totally agree. I think Tracy Walker, who's an amazing businesswoman, said something very similarly earlier this week. The importance of investing in your business. And you can't sit and wonder why things aren't happening for you when your commitment is so low that you're not willing to take the steps necessary to get there. Even if you make the intention, some people don't even make an intention to move forward in their businesses. So it's so important to realize that you have to, in order for you to make more money, you have to have greater skills. And the way you build your skills is by, of course, getting training. We get training when we go to school, when we go to college. This is the same thing. Your business is like going to school. And if you're willing to invest tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in your education, if you're willing to invest years, decades even for some professionals in their field, then you need to be willing to do the same thing if you want the kind of results that you say you want. So I think that's an awesome point, Jen. Whoa, we're about 15 minutes before the end of this hangout. Time flies when you're having fun, right, Jen? So here's an opportunity for you guys. You now have an opportunity to poke Jen's brain. You have an opportunity here to ask her something that's on your mind, something that's pressing. We have these spotlight hangouts so that you can get the perspective from so many different women and how they build their business, because you don't have to build your business in just one way. There are so many ways to go about this. So here's your moment. Here's your chance to pose a question to Jen and ask her what you want to know. So I'm going to hop on over here to the Winning Women Network and see what you guys are saying. And let's see what questions we have for you, Jen. Okay. Okay, come on. There we go. Did I hear Ethan in the background, Jen?
I can mute my mic.
No. I was thinking early. I thought I heard his little voice.
Oh, yes, I'm sure you did. Yes.
Okay, here.
Yeah, Val, it's really interesting. I told you I was running numbers on the Genesis product with my husband, and he's the big planner in our family, which is great. We both have our different skills. But my jaw just about dropped when I saw what was going on, just running the numbers out. And so when people are looking at Genesis, they may feel like it has a $1,500 price tag. It's true. But if you spread that out over, let's say, a year, then that's a little over $100 a month. And honestly, the income potential for the Genesis product is so much more than that. I really hope that if you're thinking about Genesis, that you'll make it happen, because it can change your future. Seriously.
Here's a question, Jen. Someone asked, are your sales more on Amazon than on eBay for the same number of items?
So yes, there's more volume on Amazon, definitely.
Okay.
But it's been pretty cool. I've been selling my Genesis item on eBay too, and it's selling a few times a day sometimes. So
Okay. Let me see.
one person bought 5.
5 of the same item?
Yes, that was a record. Some people buy 2 or 3. 5 was the top so far.
When you're selling your Genesis products, what profit margin what's your minimum profit margin per item that you look for?
Well, the interesting thing is, as Genesis has gone along, as my efforts in Genesis have gone along, I've kind of evolved what I'm doing. So it has changed. In the beginning, I was just testing some items that I could source for like $1 a piece. And so I did some of those, and some of them sold quickly, some of them didn't sell as quickly, some of them had bigger profit margins, some of them, maybe I doubled my money. And then I've done some retail arbitrage. So it's just depended on what I was doing. But in terms of what I'm sourcing right now, I'm looking for a $10 to $15 profit minimum.
Okay. Someone asked, how do you price your items? And I'm going to assume they're speaking about eBay.
On the drop shipping side?
Correct.
Well, I use the model that Roger lays out in the training, so that's pretty much how I do it. You don't have to be the highest price, you don't have to be the lowest price. Just come across as something it needs to be reasonable. A lot of the money moves at $100 and below is what I've seen generally. So be reasonable. People at that level of purchase, they have an idea of what's reasonable, and you probably do too.
Right. What marketing technique produces the most leads for you?
In terms of lead generation,
Lead generation,
paid advertising, right? paid advertising brings the fastest leads, and but my YouTube marketing probably has brought the most signups. So I say video is very, very powerful.
Okay. Here's a question. This is a really good question about videos. Do you plan out your YouTube videos first and then record multiple videos at a time, or do you just do one a day?
It depends. I like to batch them. It's more efficient. And so generally when I have enough ideas going on, then I'll just record a few at a time. It is a lot quicker to do it that way. But it depends. I mean, if I'm struck by something that I want to share with people, then I'll do that and share it right away. So it just depends. I haven't been posting as many videos recently, but it's because I've been in deep concentration mode.
Okay, here's a question about Genesis. How many times have you sourced a product, and if it didn't sell, what did you do with your inventory?
There aren't things that haven't sold. There are some things that I bought in the very beginning that haven't been moving much. So there are things that you can do, paid advertising. You can put them on eBay. Worst case, well, you can sell them on Craigslist. I mean, if you want to, you could bring them back and sell them on Craigslist. Or you can, worst case, donate them and be done with it. I mean, depending how much you spent on it. That's the worst case. And take the full retail value as your write-off.
Right, you're right. Speaking of write-offs, we're coming into tax season. Jen, do you have a tax professional, or do you just try to figure this out on your own with like TurboTax Online or something like that?
Yes, yes, I absolutely have a tax professional, very qualified. And I want to share with you, Val, something that I'm really excited about because the last few years, business, our relationship with our business is, right? We are growing as our business is growing. And so over the last few years, all these different businesses we've talked about, I kind of shied away from my books and my bookkeeping. But near the end of the last year, well, through the course of last year, you and I were in a Get Organized sort of class, and
Yes.
that was so great for my office. My office was totally transformed. You see the nice color behind me now. Um, but my books are in order now. So at the end of the year, this year, my books are pretty close in order. I mean, I have a little bit of tweaking here and there to clean them up, but pretty much my books are in order, and that has never happened before. So I want to encourage people that, you don't have to be perfect, but I do recommend starting to get your books in order, and it really can make life a lot less stressful and more peaceful. So getting organized makes a big difference, and it's a journey. When I started last year, there was so much. I was just starting the eBay business, selling. PayPal doesn't reconcile too well with QuickBooks, so I was just going forward and not worrying about what was behind me. But eventually that stuff catches up with you, and you need to take care of it. So if you haven't caught up on your accounting, I recommend that you catch up, even if you have to hire someone to help you with your bookkeeping, so that you can move forward and keep it updated.
I totally agree. I'm the same way. I really procrastinate when it comes to bookkeeping. I think there's a lot of people, we tend to feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, it's something you've really got to tackle. And you've got to find a professional. Don't try to figure this out on your own. It is worth the money to get someone who knows exactly what they're doing to help you so that you don't make mistakes. And because, you make mistakes, that's money. That's money that you're missing out on or that you're losing. So you definitely want to use someone who can help you, and start slowly. If you haven't done any, start now. Start with the last month or the last 2 months. But I totally agree. It makes life so much easier. You're not so stressed out about it, especially if you start to roll into tax time where we have to get all our receipts together. If you've been doing it along the way, it's really easy to do. It's really nothing for you to do if you've been keeping up. So that's a great point. I've noticed that people are thinking about tax season, which is great. A question. Um, okay, we asked that question. Okay, here's one. Is it good for, if you can't get Genesis right now, would you recommend Monopoly and why?
Sure, I'd recommend Monopoly, yes, because that will get you comfortable with the Amazon selling platform. I definitely recommend that you have sold on eBay because I feel like that's a great kind of warm-up place so you get a sense of what sells and how it all works and your suppliers, how they work. And so, but Monopoly is a great first step because I was doing Monopoly before Genesis launched, and yes, Monopoly is fantastic.
I agree. I agree. What resources do you use to learn how to market? So if you've been marketing on YouTube, how did you learn how to do YouTube marketing? And how did you learn email marketing? Or how did you learn how to use your blog? Do you use any resources to help build that part of your business?
Well, I did a lot of training on that in the last company I was a part of, and so that's where I got most of my training on internet marketing. But our team, a site, has a ton of resources. I think it's going to be ready soon. We've been relaunching it. It had a lot of resources in it, and it's going to have even more now when we reopen it. So that's an incredible free site that people get to use.
Here's an awesome question. It's about keeping track of things, which is, keeping organized is really helpful. How do you keep track of your sales, your eBay sales, your Amazon sales? How do you keep track of all of these transactions?
I've been using QuickBooks. I'm looking at another solution that's online real time because I've been passing the books back to my bookkeeper, and I think it'll just be easier if I'm online, getting the real time info. So it all goes through my QuickBooks.
Okay, great. So QuickBooks, guys, you're wondering what you should use, what you should try. And Jen, with QuickBooks, did you find that QuickBooks is relatively easy to use, or is there a learning curve? What would you say about QuickBooks?
Well, if you've used any sort of personal finance management thing, software, then it's pretty similar, except it's set up for businesses, so you can do things, outside of the scope of what we're talking about here, like invoicing or things like that. But it's it's kind of the gold standard on the accounting side of what professional bookkeepers use, and you're able to get profit and loss statements and your balance sheet, which is, once you are carrying inventory, it's pretty important to know what your balance sheet looks like, because inventory is in there as an asset, so
Right,
not an expense. um,
right. Okay, well, I think that is the end of our questions, Jen. And it looks like we're just like right on time. So before I close out the hangout, if there's any more questions, if not, then let me just refresh the page one more time. And I think that might be about it. Yep, that looks to be about it. Okay. Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Jennifer shared so many tips with us, and especially how she got started, how she scaled up, how she keeps track of things, what she did with her affiliate marketing. So if you didn't get a ton of value from this, then no, I know you need to watch this hangout again. Um, Jen, do you have any parting words of wisdom for us before I just say goodnight to our wonderful audience?
Val, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out to interview me, and I hope that people did get value out of our conversation here. The main thing that I would leave people with tonight is remember and focus on your why. Keep that in mind, and that is what will help drive you, whether times are good, whether times are challenging. keep the eye on your why, and you'll find your way.
I agree. You know, your why needs to be something that carries you through it all. Expecting external motivation from other people and other events all the time is not going to keep you going. It has to be something that's strong and powerful within you. Because as Jen says, business is up and down. It's not always a straight up line. And when you come to that point where you're feeling like, uh-oh, you've got to have something strong and powerful within yourself to keep you going. So, Jen, thanks again so much for being here with us tonight. And I know you're not feeling well, so I'm not going to keep you past 9 o'clock as I was so tempted to do. And I want to say to everyone watching, thank you so much for taking the time out to come here tonight. And for those of you who are invited here, get back with the person who invited you to this hangout, because they clearly want to share something with you that it has tremendous value and that can share your life. And people who do that really do care about you. So get back with them, connect with them. And if you're just ready to join, there's a button right there that you can just join and get started with the person who sent you this link. And tomorrow is our next hangout. It is our Monday UOP Google Hangout, and we're going to be sharing the stories of people who are doing amazing things with this business. You're going to hear their tips and strategies as well, and basically how they've come from this point of despair to this point of prosperity. And we want you to be here tomorrow to see and receive that message. So with that, I want to say good night, and I wish you well, and thank you for taking time to watch the Winning Women's Spotlight. Have a wonderful night. Take care.
Good night.